everybody. Happy Friday. We made it to the weekend. I want to wish all of you a safe and super fun weekend. I hope that you're able to enjoy yourselves and take advantage of the time you have off. If you do have time off, if not, get that money. Today, I want to talk about communication. Recently, I watched a show on TV, and the topic of the episode I was watching was speech or language. And they were discussing the rules of language and how sort of flexible they are. So one of the points that were made was about the word ain't. AIN''T. And most people, especially English teachers and editors and things like that, they'll tell you that ain't is not it's not really a word. It's not a word that we should use in the English language, especially if we're writing in a professional manner. And actually, the history of the word ain't is, it was like, it was used like words like shan't and things like that. It's sort of archaic, but it was used by high class people. And once it became a popular word, whenever these aristocrats heard these lower common people using the word, they decided they didn't like it anymore. So it became dropped as far as an acceptable word in our language, in American history, really. And it's funny because there are a lot of different rules like that as far as language goes. And it sort of made me think about communicating. The overall gist of bringing up that point of ain't being a word back in the day at one point is, times change, and it's up to us to evolve with them. So in relation to communication, I thought about the relationship that a lot of older people have with younger people. And a lot of people are under the general conception that younger people just don't have respect for older people. And granted, I agree to some level, but I think it's all a matter of not really speaking the same language. So much has happened, generally speaking, as far as growth and progress within the past few years, that a lot of people have been left behind. And communication in general has changed. It's evolved. So, for instance, another example that was I can bring up from that same show was in text language. If you're texting someone, if you put a period at the end of that text, that is a forceful way of communicating that point. So I'll be right there without a period means something than I'll be right there with a period. There's more of a stronger point being made. And this is something that a lot of people don't understand. And also with spoken language, speaking to, if you're an older person and you're finding that you're having trouble communicating with some younger people that are in your life, maybe take the opportunity to understand more about where that younger individual is coming, because there has to be some point where you meet them halfway. As far as my family goes, we were raised to be strong, independent, and stand up for ourselves. And I find that a lot of times whenever there are people butting heads in our family, it's some sort of misunderstanding that has been escalated because neither of them will compromise. Or they just generally don't understand one another, where the other one is coming from. And I think, I have the intention of raising my son to be strong and assertive. And not to say that he should bulldoze people, but he should go after what he wants. And I don't agree with it by any means necessary, because, that can be taken to come to a point that I would hate to see my son, or down a path that I hate to see my son going down. But if he disagrees with the point that I'm making, once he's old enough, he disagrees with the point that I'm making, and he has a different perception, I have to understand that I have to be open to hearing what he has to say. In my household, he's not going to pay the bills. That's my job. These are my bills for the most part. I had a kid, and part of that responsibility is buying him the things that he needs, and, every now and then, things that he wants. Making sure that he lives a comfortable life. If I brought him here, he's my responsibility. There are things that I should be doing for him in order to keep up a good relationship with him, and 2, to make him feel valuable, like a valuable human being. Not to say that gifts should be used to gain leverage with people, but the point I'm making is, if I'm going to lay down the law in my household, and part of that be stand up for yourself, you are going to, he's in training to be a man, so one day he's going to be a man. You stand up for yourself, you look people in the eye, you walk with confidence, you hold your head up, etc., etc. I can't expect to then contradict all of those lessons, and with the belief that what I'm trying to instill in him is going to take. I can't beat on him. I can't beat him down emotionally. I can't deprive him of the things that he needs. And, obviously he's going to want a lot because he's a kid. But saying no to every single thing. And I also can't, just dictate to him what his life is going to be like. 100%. I can't tell him what he can and can't do in every area of his life, and expect for him to grow up being a responsible man at some point. So there has to be a level of compromise. There has to be a level of understanding. And I think it's something that we should all consider and try to regularly check ourselves on. Am I allowing the people around me to grow into the people that they need to be or want to be? Am I allowing the people to communicate with me openly and be themselves around me? Am I communicating my needs effectively and my expectations for my children in particular? Am I helping to encourage them? Am I helping to encourage those expectations within my kid? Excuse me. Or am I contradicting it? Or working against it? Okay. So communication, guys, it's the key, and it's one of the biggest, most important things that we can master in our time here. All right, so if you guys like this video, I'd really like to hear your feedback on this and any additional ideas that you might want to add to the topic. And if you feel like this is valuable information that you want to share with your friends and family members, by all means, please feel free to do so. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon, and have a great weekend. Bye.